Alright, so before I get into my review for Kung Fu Panda 4, look, I just want to make sure I say these statements, which I still believe are very valid statements to this day. The Kung Fu Panda trilogy and the Night at the Museum trilogy, just because this is a moment for me to acknowledge this, are two of the most underrated trilogies of all time. As far as I'm concerned, Kung Fu Panda and Night at the Museum have one of the most underrated trilogies ever. And Kung Fu Panda has an amazing report for villains. The villains in Kung Fu Panda movies are absolutely tremendous. The trend does continue here, but Viola Davis was not as good as the previous villains that came before her, but she was still pretty damn good. And look, now what is this? The quadriceps? That's not quadriceps. That's such a terrible word. We're in the fourth quadrant of these movies. What do you even call movies that were supposed to be trilogies but then a fourth one came out? Is there a word for that? Is there a term for that? Please let me know in the comments below. But look, let's just get into it. Look, this is Kung Fu Panda 4. Skadoosh. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Kung Fu Panda 4, starring Jack Black, Awkwafina, Bryan Cranston, I believe Viola Davis. Yes, Viola Davis is in the movie. And it was directed by Mike Mitchell. And our story is following Po as he is fully became beyond a dragon warrior at this point. He is a full-fledged master. He is now in the position that Master Oogway was in the first movie, where they have to find the dragon warrior and find a successor to take over that title. And so Po has to set out to do that. And he's kind of not really looking forward to it because he's been the Dragon Warrior for so long. It's like, what do you want me to do now? You want me to be somebody completely different? But so he has to go find a successor. And while he's doing that, this villain called the Chameleon is coming out of the shadows to take over the spirit realm that basically holds all of the villains that Po has faced. And she's trying to take their kung fu and use it for her own to become one of the most powerful beings on Earth. A pretty damn good way to explain that movie. Alright, but look, that was the plot of the film, and look, I'm just going to get in what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. And starting with what I liked about the film, look, I completely knew going in that this movie more than likely would not live up to what the previous three Kung Fu Pandas were, because like I said, for me, Kung Fu Panda is just one of the most underrated trilogies of all time, mainly because for me, I just feel like those movies are not talked about enough. And Tai Lung, Gary Oldman, who played the crane, and then J.K. Simmons, who played that big rhinoceros-looking thing in the third movie. All of those villains were some of the best villains I've ever seen, not only in an animated movie, but just in movies in general. Those villains are real deal nasty motherfuckers, and they are really just a great addition to the Kung Fu Panda movies. And look, I wasn't really walking into this expecting this movie to live up to what those previous ones did. So for me, it was truly just like walking in, and I'm hoping that I could have a fun time, I could laugh, I could get some emotional moments, really root for Po, just be back in a world that I truly love, kind of just get that nostalgic feel of just my childhood coming all over again. And the movie gives me that. The movie truly gives me that. Now look, is it the best out of the other three movies? Well, it's not. It's damn sure not the best. It's probably the worst. But I mean, you have to understand, the three Kung Fu Panda movies that came before it are absolutely legendary. Just like Toy Story 4. The three movies that come before Toy Story 4 are absolutely spectacular. But does that take away by how amazing Toy Story 4 is? Not necessarily. Well, not at all, honestly. But I was going to say, for this one, the Kung Fu Panda 4 ain't really in Toy Story 4's territory. For me, Toy Story 4 was a huge surprise, just at how emotional and how relevant and how honestly I felt like they actually did have a true story to tell in that one. Here, there is a story to tell, but it's not as emotional as the previous ones that come before it. It's not necessarily one where, I mean, you are rooting for Po, but it's like you're just really here for nostalgic reasons. It's not, I mean, that was why you were there in Toy Story 4 as well. But Toy Story 4, like I said, honestly, the new characters that they introduced, the emotional story, the villain in that movie. I mean, Toy Story 4 was just so very well put together, but it is still the worst out of the four Toy Story movies. Here, we have the worst out of the 4 Kung Fu Panda movies, but this is still a very good movie. It's hilarious. Jack Black is amazing. Jack Black is just ridiculously talented, and the only reason it's so highlighted in this film here is because they give him an opportunity at the end to sing Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, and wow. Jack Black can really just do no wrong in my eyes. This dude is absolutely spectacular. Look, another thing that I truly do want to point out in this film, I understand everybody has their Awkwafina gripes. Not me personally. I think she's pretty funny, and I actually like her in movies. And honestly, if you watch movies like The Farewell, you'll see another side of Awkwafina that you never thought was there. Please check that out if you have not seen The Farewell. But as far as voice talent goes, Awkwafina has a damn good resume, and she's very, very good in voice work. I mean, she was in, Raya and the Last Dragon. She was in Migration. She's in Kung Fu Panda 4. She's in The Little Mermaid. She truly, Awkwafina is really good at voice work, and I loved her as the Fox character in this movie. She did a very good job at playing this character. I actually love the little twist that they threw in this movie as well, but Awkwafina deserves some respect for voice work, because that girl is damn talented, and there's a reason she keeps getting these voiceover work jobs, is because she's just very good at it. Look, y'all can hate on her all y'all want. She does some very good voice work. She's very good. I really enjoyed her in this movie. And like I said, everybody else, you're really just there for nostalgic reasons. I mean, like I said, it's not really the most entertaining. It's not the most entertaining or the most entertained I've ever been in a Kung Fu Panda movie. If I'm really being honest, what I didn't like about the movie, it just doesn't, hold up to the rest of the films. But I mean, it doesn't take away from how good it was. Like, it was still a really good movie. I had a really good time. Viola Davis, like I said, she's not the best villain. This movie is truly like all the good things that you could say about the previous Kung Fu Panda movies. This one does them, just not in a way where they exceed any of the movies that came before them, if that makes any sense. Like, this movie's truly not exceeding any of the other Kung Fu Pandas in any way possible, but it's definitely honoring the other Kung Fu Pandas, and it's not really taking away from what those 3 movies did. It's not taking away from them at all, and you're in there, and you have a pretty good time. You have a pretty decent time. It's like I said, I mean, it's pretty cool. And the reason I'm kind of just getting all, kind of confused about how I want to go about what I didn't like about the movie is just because it was just, it's like, I don't necessarily want to continuously compare them to the 3 films, but those 3 films are just so superior. It's kind of like the elephant in the room. It's like, how can I not address that thing? But look, overall, Kung Fu Panda is still a good time. It's still really funny. It has a lot of jokes, a lot of heart. The Shifu and Po dynamic will forever be the funniest thing about these movies. Like the Shifu Po dynamic never fails to make me laugh. I absolutely love Dustin Hoffman as Shifu. I absolutely love Jack Black as Po. I love these characters in this movie. This movie was a lot of fun. It's not as good as the other Kung Fu Pandas, but that is okay. It's still a pretty decent entry. It's not as, and the reason I want to also compare it to Toy Story 4 is because, these are both movies that had a 4th entry, and we all thought they were done by the trilogies, but Toy Story 4 was just... Toy Story 4 was amazing, and I really hope a lot of people don't ever turn their backs on that movie, even though Toy Story 3 gave us the ending of a lifetime. Toy Story 4 gave us another ending that completely just broke my heart all over again. Me just thinking about that image in my head is already having me tear up a little bit. But Kung Fu Panda 4 is a very good entry. I thought it was a very good close to Poe's story. Doesn't take away anything that the previous films did. And look, for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Kung Fu Panda 4 a 3.25 out of 5 stars. Okay, so Kung Fu Panda 4, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Look, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.